list, you should know your MC.
You should know
the person managing your area.
Yes, you should.
That, you can collaborate.
You should.
And also demand the right things to be done for you.
And I'm not going to ask the people on this show because you people, you've made your MCs too popular. You've mentioned their names, you've given them stress, you've caused all kinds of problems for them. So today you are out of the competition. Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to Janet Tulasi Mensah.
Oh, is that her name?
But that's a friendly good morning to
Janet Tulasi Mensah. She's MC for where?
For
Ga East. Where is the headquarters? Is it
Abokobi?
Abokobi. Oh, she's the place with the roads, the bad roads.
Place with the roads.
Well,
but Charlie, she, you know what? I don't. It's not an easy job.
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that, right, Kojo?
We
it's
can.
not an easy job.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would. Well, maybe you would, Kojo. But to be an MC, I think, is a tough job because you inherit so many issues. There's limited resources you have to work with, and you've got the pressure of your residents every single day to deal with and contend with. And your hands are pretty much tied because a lot of things are dictated from places that are not under your control.
It's basically big responsibility, small power.
Small power, yeah.
So it's a very difficult place to be.
Very difficult place
But that's why it's not by force.
True.
It's not by force.
It's by force.
So if you can't do it, yes. Good morning to the MC for Adenta.
Ninoy Adumwa.
Oh, that dear proper one.
Yeah.
It's a main
Champion Ninoy.
Oh, it's another.
Of course.
Ninoy Adumwa.
Yes.
Okay,
We'll leave that for
Yes.
now. We'll start with the headlines. Because the reason I'm doing this is that the Ghanaian Times has a very important headline.
Yes, without my MC's photo. There is the AMA boss's photo, Gasouth MC, KMA MC. And the headline says, race for forthcoming appointments, mad rush for MMDC positions. As 1,317 persons apply for 216 vacancies.
You hear? 1,000 what?
317
Apply for what?
216
You.
jobs.
3 months later, when you call them, they work, we don't know. The people, they are difficult. The people, they don't want to cooperate. You applied. You took your fine pen, wrote your fine application that you want to be MCE. Nobody forced you.
You see,
So that's the main Ghanaian Times headline.
Other headlines. Efforts to deal with vehicular traffic across the country. Government targets 20 interchanges by 2024. And House to pass affirmative action bill before end of 2021. Speaker promises.
All right, the Daily Graphic. New interventions. Contractors to bear 5-year warranty. 6,000 kilometers of roads, 120 bridges, and 20 interchanges in offing. Okay, we'll talk about what the roads minister is saying. Mining firms commit to local procurement. Teacher and soldier killed by gunmen. So sad. Goil diversifies production line. And a reminder here that it's 18 days more until the Green Ghana project, where we're supposed to plant 5 million trees in a day. And that's on the 11th of June, 2021.
On the front page of the Finder, the Minister for Roads says that 4,000 kilometers of roads were completed in the first term of the Nanado government. 11,000 kilometers have been programmed for the second term. EU picks Ghana as Africa's COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing hub. Ghana Hajj Board on setting for 2021 Hajj and Umrah prayers. 4 withdrawn from the national security over alleged abuse of Citi FM journalist. And CBG secures $50 million to support road infrastructure development. And on a book launch, Dr. Baumia has unveiled J.A. Brimer's biography.
The Daily Guide. MP docked over $2.4 million fraud. Goil diversifying operations. KGL partners the sports ministry for AFCON. Fracas over 2013 Bost report. And NDC in court over appeal over Techiman South Pole.
The Chronicle, 6,000 kilometers of tarred roads ready this year. This is according to Amoakwata. Death of policeman at Mankesim Fuel Station. Court acquits and discharges Isaac Eshon. Niger Delta gangs attack Ghanaian vessel. Seize 3 Chinese, Russian, and Korean off the Tema coast. And KGL partners join others to raise $25 million for football development.
The Herald. Gender minister rendered useless by Courage Kwashiga's widow, forced to withdraw dismissal letter of school feeding boss within 72 hours. Also, Efri Ankara and Bernard Mona take on unruly EC bosses. KGL partners Youth and Sports Ministry to raise $25 million ahead of AFCON and World Cup campaigns. And NPP's Delta Force Group warned dismissed regional national security boss. Okay.
Now, the new crusading guide, 6,000 kilometers of roads earmarked for completion. Amakwata discloses NDC makes U-turn, runs to appeals court over no collation in Techiman South. replaced Cape Coast North MC, grassroots members of NPP to Akufo-Addo. And in the Amansia West area, members are telling people to stop running down their DCE. Now, on Fix the Country, drawing the lines of responsibilities. That's an article in the New Crusading Guide.
The Informer, aftermath of elections 2020, anti-Mahama characters exposed and vowed to work against his comeback as president. 21st century politics, stop the comedy and get serious, Esidu Nketia is told. Boycott of IPAC meeting, NDC presses self-destruction button, and a commentary on Esidu Nketia, the political dinosaur killing the NDC. Also, education colleges threaten shutdown due to lack of funds to administer schools.
The Daily Statesman leads with the road story. Government unveils big road program, 11,000 kilometers earmarked for construction, 6,000 kilometers to be completed this year. On the same page, Goyle's $35 million bitumen plant to be operational in September. This links really nicely with the road story. And Ghana quits League of Anti-Money Laundering Deficient Countries.
The Today newspaper says LGBTQs rising again, 21 suspected practitioners nabbed in Ho, and stop destroying GPL and local football. And pictured here is Kurt Okweku, the president of the GFA.
The Inquisitor has a story on the CBG. It says CBG in big trouble. I'll tell you more later. Techiman South, NDC having new issues. Now, Adjoa Safo in huge guff. This is to do with the Mrs. Kwashiga story. An Italian ambassador calls on the Speaker of Parliament.
The Business and Financial Times, $6.5 billion from oil in 10 years, but nothing to show. Also, $35 million Goyle bitumen plant to save economy millions in foreign exchange yearly. The AFCFTA must explore barter system to allow SMEs participate. And Bank of Ghana licenses Obsidian Achena as primary dealers in government bonds.
Let's take you online. CitiNewsroom.com. Ghanaians living in fear. Reform security architecture to boost confidence. This is Charismatic Bishops Conference. Also, lab scientists strike over CAF medical specialist saga to be escalated nationwide. Keep an eye on that story. We'll deal with it today. Amakwata says we've completed 6,000 kilometers of roads. We will complete 6,000 kilometers of roads, 120 bridges by end of 2024. Meanwhile, the armed forces have vowed to destroy equipment found at Galamsey site. Meanwhile, Operation Halt allegedly set ablaze extra gold mining limited structure. So this story is really snowballing into something bigger. Other stories, Amwakwanta says Pokwasi interchange will be ready by first week in July. More than 2,000 motorbike crashes recorded in 2021 first quarter alone. And train more family special physicians to strengthen primary health care. This is family physicians to government. If you go to myjournline.com, head teacher shot dead in his house at Cape Coast. Quite gruesome. Also, Operation Halt team allegedly destroys offices of MPP National Women Organizers mining firm. And 2 dead, 5 injured in motorcycle accident at Chimbomso. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, Petroleum Commission builds capacity of indigenous companies. Ghana to be removed from EU's money laundering list. And don't fish in restricted zones. Petroleum Commission to fishermen. Star FM, Operation Hot burns kit. Jemfua's office beats security personnel. Also, Galamsey fight. Prosecute the financiers at Blackwell rights. Meanwhile, National Investigation Board investigates SDA SHS headmistress for feeding students in private hostel with boarding food. This is so interesting. GNA, President Akufo-Addo consoles Nigeria of a loss of army chief. 6,000 kilometers of roads will be completed by 2024. This is Amakwata. It's in the news this weekend. And Trade Minister launches project to establish National Metrology Institute. All those stories and more. If you go to the Ghana Report, 2 blood thieves arrested at Kolebu. Blood thieves. I heard this on Sunday morning. This is also an interesting one. Knocking children could cause permanent brain damage. You know, so if they call and say they knock and go. Stop doing it.
There's a proverb that says your power pump money show come. We should throw away that proverb.
And the researcher says knocking children could cause permanent brain damage. And Ghana to become Africa's COVID-19 vaccine manufacturing hub. That's another story there. So let's start with the Times, Kojo.
MMDCs.
Yes.
1,317 apply for 216 jobs. Now, the story by Kingsley Hope says, following the expiration of the tenure of chief executives of the 216 MMDs and the imminent appointment to replace them by the president, hundreds of interested persons have applied to take up the positions. In the Ashanti region, 263 people are vying for various positions. Already, the regional vetting committee chaired by the regional minister has invited all the applicants to a vetting at the regional coordinating council. For the position of the chief executive for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, 9 aspirants were contesting. They include the current acting MCE, Ose Esibeentri, Sam Pine, Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NPP, Collins Usuamanko, I remember him, former MP for Menchia North, Kennedy Kankam, former MP for Nshaeso, Kusi Boafo Thomas, Chief Executive Officer for Public Sector Reforms, Atapoku, Kumasi Metro Urban Roads Director, Kofi Senya, former presiding member for KMA, and Kofi Owusu Boateng, former secretary to the Asante Hine.
All are vying for various.
The KMA slot.
Just KMA slot.
Just KMA.
And they are all 6.
They are about 9, I think.
Wow. Which other ones are interesting?
Now, David O. Yaboitet, a report from the Cape Coast, that 181 individuals have applied as chief executives of the 22 MDAs in the central region. The Esikuma Odobe Braka district had the highest number of 22 applicants.
Wow.
Cape Coast Metro has
so they applied.
Applicants. Yes.
They took their pen and wrote that they won the job.
Yes.
Hey, yo.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes.
Yo.
Should I take you to Tamale?
Yes.
In Tamale, 200 people have applied and were being vetted for the 15 assemblies in the northern region. However, 3 out of the 15 incumbent MMDCs have declined to contest their positions.
Okay.
They are Musa Superior, Tamale Metro, Idris Marian, Sanarigu, and Alhaji Abdullahi Hassim from Mion. Now, let me bring you to the western region. Now, reports from Second D indicate that 66 applicants have applied for the various MMDCs, and they were at the Regional Coordinating Council for vetting. Now, if you go to some other areas...
What about Accra? Did they say anything about Accra?
Yes, I'm trying to...
It's a long story, right?
It's a very, very... They are trying to cover the whole country.
So essentially, these people have applied and they are being vetted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We can do the rest later during the show proper. There was another story about MCs and stop giving them bad names. But let's get back to you, Kokui. What do you have for me?
Yes. All right. The Daily Graphic, the roads minister is speaking.
Yes.
Now, the government will build 120 bridges, 6,000 kilometers of roads, and 20 interchanges across the country in the next 4 years. The Minister of Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amwakwata, has said, I think we need to take a photograph of this and paste it somewhere and check in 4 years. Okay. He also issued a policy directive to road contractors that they will bear a 5-year minimum defect liability period for the road projects. I love it. Okay, so this directive is expected to push contractors to avoid substandard road construction and deliver works according to standard specifications. These were the key outcomes at the minister's press briefing in Accra yesterday. The briefing was also used to update the public on the various projects undertaken by the government through the ministry. So the minister says, quote, if you are a contractor and you don't do the work according to specification and you do shoddy work, you will maintain it for 5 years. So if you do bad work, it will be your burden. I have the moral courage to take on any engineer who supervises bad roads or a contractor who delivers shoddy work. I respect everyone, but I'm not afraid of anyone.
I heard something about the Goyle story in relation to this one.
I will give you the Goyle story, but let me give you further breakdown of the roads, if you don't mind. 11,000 kilometers programmed for second term. So between now and 2024, the government says they will do 11,000 kilometers.
Okay.
They did 4,000 kilometers in the first term.
Did they give us a list of the 4,000?
I'll give you some more insights. Now, 6,000 kilometers to be completed this year. Okay. So by December, we should have 6,000 kilometers of new roads. And let me take you to Sino Hydro, because there is a bit of interest there. Yes, on Sino Hydro Master Project Support Facility, Mr. Amakwata said 4 road projects, including 2 interchanges, are ongoing. The ongoing road projects are, and people listen, Accra Inner City Roads, we've seen some work being done. Kumasi Inner City Roads, we've seen some work being done. Dualization of Adenta to Dodoa. The minister says this is ongoing.
Is it intended or is it in motion? But you used that road this morning.
Yes.
Is there anything happening there?
No, please. So I'm just highlighting this. What does ongoing? Is it negotiations?
I don't know.
Now,
what's the fourth one?
The fourth one is the Ejumaku to Afransi Road.
All right.
And he says 20 out of 25 interchanges to be completed, and 120 out of 200 bridges will also be completed.
We'll give them the
Following
details
up
during
on
the
this,
show proper as well. Now, there's something about bitumen, there's something about GOIL, which is related.
Yes, GOIL Ghana is investing in a bitumen plant, which is going to reduce our imports. The story says Ghana Oil Company has decided to diversify its services by venturing into bitumen production. This is to support the government to achieve its aim of improving the country's road infrastructure. The company is currently building bitumen emission and polymer modified bitumen plants with 6,000 metric tons of base bitumen and a production capacity of 240 metric tons per day for each. The group CEO of GOIL, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, in an interview disclosed that access to bitumen had been a problem in Ghana for many years, and he said his outfit has therefore decided to venture into the asphalt production industry to address the challenge.
This seems like a game changer if done right, because I don't understand why people should bring materials from China to come and build roads in Ghana when we have all the materials here. Now, the lab sciences strike is threatening to get to the next level. Let me just give you that story. Citi Newsroom. Lab scientists strike over Cath medical specialist saga to be escalated nationwide. Now, the Ghana Association of Medical Lab Scientists has served notice to embark on an indefinite nationwide strike from Wednesday, May 26, 2021. The action is in solidarity with their members at Kofanochi Teaching Hospital, who began a 1-week sit-down strike last week to protest the posting of 2 medical officers to the Lab Services Directorate of the hospital. Calls by the Ministry of Health and Management of CAT for the scientists to resume work for dialogue to begin have yielded no results. Speaking to Citi News, the National Public Relations Officer of the association, Dennis Edu Jesse, said the decision was taken at an emergency meeting with its members. Now, members of Confanochi chapter of the association have declared a strike, a 1-week sit-down strike. They declared that since Thursday, 20th May, to protest the decision of the hospital's management to keep the 2 medical specialists in key positions at the directorate. The chairman of the Kumasi CAT, Ernest, the CAT GAMS, Ernest Bedu-Boateng, told Citi News that the Ministry of Health and Management of CAT have 1-week window to reassign the medical specialist, or the strike could escalate. So this is something we should keep an eye on, because already lab services are under strain in many hospitals. To now have a strike nationwide is going to lead to a loss of lives. If this can be prevented, they should.
And from Konfanochi to Kolebu, some people were arrested over the weekend for allegedly stealing blood at the surgical ward of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Now, the suspects, Kwabene Edu and Toshiro Fred, are reported to be former students of the Accra Technical University, and they did their national service at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The suspects, who were dressed in working overcoats, were apprehended by the hospital security personnel and handed over to the police.
To steal blood?
Yes.
Did they ask them why? Was somebody in desperate need of it? What was the problem?
It could be, but there's a really serious blood shortage that we're experiencing in the country.
Really?
Yes. The blood banks are really struggling to get blood. Especially with COVID and, the number of people who need blood in emergency situations. It's a crisis.
Wow.
It really is a crisis. Maybe we can talk about that later.
All right.
But here's something that happened over the weekend. 2 shooting incidents over the weekend claimed the lives of 2 persons, a teacher and a soldier, in Cape Coast and Prang in the Bono East region, respectively. The first incident occurred on the Prang-Kintampo Highway in the Pru East district in the Bono East region. Suspected to be the act of armed robbers, they claimed the life of a 41-year-old soldier of the 3rd Battalion of Infantry, Sunyani. His name is Job Kwame Ode. Then, near the University of Cape Coast Medical School hostel last Saturday, an assailant shot a teacher, Mr. Yao Eifa Gorman, in his car, injuring him in his left eye, and that resulted in his death. The police are yet to establish a motive, but according to police, the first incident that occurred between Prang and Ajalaja, a farming community. They found the deceased, who was in an unregistered pickup. He was traveling from Sunyani to visit his family when the incident occurred. Very, very sad. They believe that he had been shot dead by armed robbers. The policemen rushed to the crime scene. They found a male adult fully dressed in military uniform lying in a pool of blood. When they conducted a search, he had a gunshot wound to the right side of his chest. They found his military ID card, his name on it. There was also military.
So that was robbers.
These were robbers.
But the Central Region one is weird. They went to his house, shot him in a car, and just left.
And
very weird.
And also in the Oti region, 3 people have been arrested over kidnapping and murder. They killed 1 person and they kidnapped his brother. And these 3 people have been arrested by...
Now, let me give you a story that puts it in perspective. Ghanaians living in fear, reform security architecture to boost confidence, Charismatic Bishops Conference. Now, the Ghana Charismatic Bishops Conference is calling for an immediate reform of the country's security structure or system. This, the conference says, has become necessary owing to the increasing lack of public confidence, particularly in the police service. Now, according to the conference, recent events have made it clear that the nation's security system is not properly set up. Now, the comments come following the arrest of Citi FM CTV journalist Caleb Kuda and the raid on the premise of Citi FM by security operatives. According to the conference, the citizenry is gradually losing faith in the security agencies, partly because they are unable to get the police to respond to emergencies or receive little police action on reported crimes. The General Secretary of the conference, Reverend Kwesi Day, in a Citi News interview, called for an immediate reform at the security architecture to boost public confidence. And then it gives some background to the Caleb Kuda issue and the need also for some reform in national security.
All right, let's go to the Gender Ministry. This is in the Herald. Gender Minister rendered useless by Courage Kwashiga's widow. This is the way they've captured it here. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Sarah Safu, thought she was that powerful until she ran into a head-on collision with the widow of the late Major Courage Kwashiga, ex-Minister of Health as well as Food and Agriculture in the John Kufuor presidency. Within hours after sacking Mrs. Kwashiga as the national coordinator for the Ghana School Feeding Program, the minister was forced by the presidency to issue a statement dated May 20th, withdrawing the dismissal letter and reinstating the lady to the position, leaving everyone in shock. The development came barely 72 hours after the minister terminated the appointment of Madam Gertrude Kwashiga. The order to reinstate her is said to have come from the presidency. So the letter said withdrawal of termination appointment. And the minister...
I read a story somewhere that said, Adjoa Safo said her initial sacking was due to an administrative error.
Yes.
We don't know what that means. Now, Operation Halt allegedly sets ablaze Extra Gold Mining Limited structures. Now, other websites are reporting even more serious things, including beatings. Military personnel who are members of the Operation Halt task force mandated to clamp down on illegal mining have allegedly raided a licensed small-scale mining company in the Tiwa West district of Eastern Region, Extra Gold Mining, and set ablaze a structure that serves as offices at the site. This is the third time military personnel have visited the company, which has the MPP national men organizer Kejemfo as its general manager. In their latest visit, the military personnel besieged the site, allegedly assaulted 5 private security guards employed by Madam Jemfo to protect the company before setting the site ablaze. Some of the private security personnel shared the ordeal. They assaulted us without giving reasons. There was a soldier who was just assaulting us. They asked us to leave the site or face their wrath. They set the building ablaze as we left the site, one of them said. Now, don't forget, this is the third, according to the report. Initially, they had gone there to burn some excavators, come back to make sure they were fully burnt, now gone to burn the structure. Now, the Ghana Armed Forces is in part of this second phase of the Operation Halt, which is a fight against illegal small-scale mining in water bodies and forests. A statement from the Ministry of Information said the exercise dubbed Operation Halt is aimed at removing all persons and logistics involved in mining on water bodies.
I'll bring you more security-related stories. Dreaded Niger Delta gangs attack Ghanaian vessel. Now, the Chronicle is reporting this, and the story also says that they took on some crew members, a Korean, some Chinese, and other people, and we are investigating that. Now, if you also check...
In Ghanaian waters?
Yes, in Ghanaian waters. That's what the story says. Now, if you also check the Finder, 21 alleged LGBTQI members remanded over unlawful assembly. This is in the Volta region. In the Greater Accra region, 33 sex workers arrested at Pukyase. But there is some good news in the center spread of the Finder. From Eku juice to nano juice, Yabenum Ghana juice. Yes. Now, Dr. Baumia has commissioned the pineapple processing factory at Insawam.
Okay.
Remember Refresh?
Yes, Refresh.
Yes.
Aztec Refresh.
Now that plant has been rebranded to Nano Foods Limited.
Okay.
They've been given some capital injection, and they will be producing 8 million cans of pure, correct Ghana-made pineapple juice.
Wow.
From Insawam for our enjoyment.
Final good one. Ghana's
that.
Martha Pobi appointed UN Assistant Political Secretary General for Africa. This is really good news. Now, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has announced the appointment of Martha Ama Achian Pobi of Ghana as an Assistant Secretary General for Africa in the Department of Political and Peace Building Affairs and Peace Operations. The appointment was made Friday, 21st May. Ms. Pobi succeeds Bintu Keita of Guinea, who took up a new assignment as Secretary General's Special Rep in DRC and head of United Nations Organization's Stabilization Mission in Congo. Speaking of Congo, we are told there's been an earthquake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Eruption.
Forgive me, not earthquake. Volcanic eruption with 8,000 people displaced. That's serious. I mean, with all the problems they are facing. I mean, I took my vaccine, which they gave us over the weekend.
You see, you.
If we can do something for them, let's do that.
Oh, this one, I have to do this one better.
Do it.
Hearts leapfrog
Yeah, man.
to top spots
Yeah, man.
of the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, man.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Not
man.
easy, oh.
And we will not come down. We will stay there till Jesus comes. Yeah, this weekend I was in my house, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving the family in the new car.
Charlie.
Yeah, in phobia, Jesse.
Jeshamo.
Do you
Phobia.
know how Hearts can stay on top of the league?
Wow.
In 18 days, we'll be planting trees across the country. Hearts fans should go and get oak seedlings and plant it all across the country. You save the environment
Hearts of oak.
and you implant your
Do we
brand
have
across the
oak trees
country.
in Ghana?
We should ask the Forestry Commission. They should have
Do
something.
we have oak trees?
If you want to grow, you should plant more trees. Hearts fans.
Oak trees.
Yes.
Hearts
There are
of
about
oak.
4 million Hearts of Oak fans, at least. If each of them plant a tree.
That would be
Just
powerful.
imagine.
Phobia National Tree Planting Day.
Yes.
There are 4 million Phobia fans.
That's
Imagine if
estimated
each Phobia fan
minimum.
gave
Yes,
one
about 4
CD.
million. Yeah.
Like contributed one CD for the club.
I even want paraphernalia I can't get. I want
Yeah.
phobia jersey for my kids. They don't only
You
big
know?
ones. Phobia, looks up.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.